Welcome. You have arrived on yet another Ryanair flight.
Never shy in trumpeting its achievements, Ryanair is known for a no-nonsense attitude.
These airlines can't match our prices. They can't match our service either.
And it starts at the top, with boss Michael O'Leary.
We need fewer people queuing to go to the toilet. How do you get fewer people queuing to go to the toilet? Charge them for it.
The Irish airline has become a management case study in industry disruption, aggressive pricing and stratospheric growth. From a standing start in 1985 with one aircraft, one route and 5,000 passengers, Ryanair has grown to be Europe's biggest airline. It carried 120 million passengers last year.
It was seen as a bit of an irritant, a bit of an annoying kind of player, somebody who made a lot of noise. And it really took a long time. It really snuck up on the other airlines. The fact that they offered cheap flights, but that they continued to offer them. They thought these were just a sale that they would announce every now and again. But the sales kept continuing and continuing. So it became clear then that this actually was a business model.
The Irish airline is cancelling up to 50 flights daily for the next 6 weeks, or about 2% of its schedule. The airline's punctuality had already fallen from its usual 90% average to below 80% this month. Why? Strikes in air traffic control, the weather, and significantly a shortage of crew. Today, the boss was characteristically forthright.
Okay. When we make a mess in Ryanair, we come out with our hands up. We try to explain why we've made the mess, and when we will pay compensation to those passengers who are entitled to compensation.
Ryanair managed to upend the industry because it focuses on every cost, but that efficiency means very little slack when things go wrong. OK, so the Irish regulator forced Ryanair to change how it manages staff holiday, and that's caused problems. But ultimately, the airline doesn't have enough crew or pilots to man all its planes. As Ryanair and rivals have expanded, it's the Irish airline that has cut too close for comfort.
If we look at where the growth in the short-haul market is in Europe, it's through what I call the momentum airlines. Others call them the low-cost airlines. And as they take significant numbers of new aircraft, they're going to need pilots. And the classic example we've just seen is obviously Norwegian with its base in Dublin, but we're seeing expansion by others in other markets too. So they will bid up the price of pilots, and the pilots will move perhaps from Ryanair, perhaps from other carriers, to go to where they see a new opportunity.
Norwegian says it's hired 140 Ryanair pilots this year. Never one to agree with a rival, Ryanair says it's under 100. It denies a shortage of pilots. So why cancel 6 weeks of flights rather than try a short-term fix? Well, with Ryanair, it always pays to think about the bottom line. Take a look at EU 261, or the rules about flight compensation. A delay of 3 hours or more could mean payouts of €250 per passenger. A cancellation at short notice is the same unless the airline can offer a suitable alternative. Cancelled with more than 2 weeks' notice? Well, you just get a refund. And Ryanair's average fare is just €40. Better business, perhaps, to axe flights well ahead rather than risk further delays or last-minute cancellations. Then there's Ryanair's reputation to think of. It may be cheap, but the airline likes to boast that it's more punctual than rivals and that it cancels fewer flights. Passengers counting every euro might stay with them. But what about those higher value business travellers that Ryanair has increasingly been courting? Well, there, the idea that Ryanair's unreliable could hurt. Ryanair likes to use its business acumen to unseat and upset rivals. For now, it will be needed to shuffle disgruntled passengers onto new flights. In other words, damage limitation.